We get a lot of questions about having a heavy-duty truck, an HDT, and the pros and cons of it. So we thought we would do a video on the pros and cons of having a heavy-duty truck, pulling our heavy fifth wheel, and our pros and cons that we have found with our setup. So we're going to do the pros first, and then we'll come back and do the cons. They're not in any particular order.
We're Dave and Karen from Walks on Wheels, and we sold our sticks and bricks to RV full-time now that we are retired. We travel with our heavy-duty truck Leroy, our two K&M motorcycles, our DRV Dixie, and our smart car Zippy. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when we post a new video.
So Dave, why don't you start with safety and brakes?
Safety. And one of the main reasons for it is weight advantage. When you're pulling a heavy fifth wheel like we have our DRV, it can weigh up to 24,000 pounds, and if you're trying to stop something like that with an 8,000 pound truck, kind of physics takes over at that point. Where the HDT, our particular HDT, weighs 30,000 pounds.
And the trailer is about 23?
Yeah, it's about 23 loaded with everything. Plus we carry a smart car on the back of the trailer, and that adds to the weight also. So just that fact alone, and also everything about the HDT is bigger. I mean, you have bigger brakes, bigger tires, more rubber to the road, so it just all adds up. Plus it has air brakes, which some people say, what difference does that make? But our particular setup, I've installed air over hydraulic brakes in the trailer, so when the truck hits the brakes, the trailer hits the brakes at the same time, and we don't have any of that electrical connections that fail. We used to have the electric brakes, and we were constantly having problems with electrical connections failing or shorting out or anything like that. So we got rid of that when we installed the air brakes on the trailer. And one of the other pros to it is it has a Jake brake and also engine braking, which are two different things, but roughly you could set the Jake brake to a certain speed that you want it to. When you're like coming down a mountain, you set the Jake brake at say 55 miles an hour, and that thing will hold the truck and the trailer coming down a mountain at 55 without you touching the brakes or the accelerator or anything. It does it all by itself.
I also think just the line of sight
Oh,
is a safety thing as well, because you're up higher, and because you're bigger, you have bigger mirrors, more mirrors, so you can see a lot better because of the mirrors. And the other thing is kind of nice about it is you just have a better view of the scenery that's
Right.
around you, and also what's going on ahead. So if there's something that's going to cause an accident or something, then hopefully you're going to see it before
yeah.
before you hit it.
Before panic strikes.
Yeah.
And
Number 2, cost.
you can buy a used HDT for 1/3 the cost of a dually pickup truck.
Also, I think, and I've heard this from a number of people, that you can burn up a dually
In a year.
in a year, or you can burn up a couple of them before you'd even reach the cost of the HDT if you buy it used.
When you're buying say you buy a new dually, those things can run up to, depending upon what you get on it, and
You wear out the drive lines really quick.
yeah.
Number 3 is durability and longevity, because the HDT is made to haul extremely large loads.
Yeah, they're made to haul 120,000 pounds.
And they're made to last a million miles.
Yeah, they're engineered to last 1,000,000 miles. HDT is geared totally different than a dually. So highway running, because they're meant to run down the highway. Ours is particularly, it's geared to the point where I can run 70 miles an hour down the highway at 1100 RPM, where a dually would be pulling anywhere from 25 on up RPMs, which in essence, you're running the engine twice as hard as you'd have to in a HDT. Plus, an HDT has more gear selection, so you can go up and down different grades, different gears. Makes it a lot easier on everything.
Number 4 is fuel capacity. That's the one thing that I like about the heavy duty truck is we have 300-gallon capacity. And what does a regular dually have, like 50 to 60?
Yeah, 50, 60 gallons.
So you can go a lot further.
Oh yeah. And we have to go to commercial truck stops, or we don't have to all the time, but we do. Just for the facts that you're pouring in 300 gallons. If you went to a regular gas station to get diesel, you'd be there for quite some time filling up 300
Which you do
gallons.
once in a while.
Which I do once in a blue moon.
Fill up one side, drive
Yeah.
around, fill up the other
Fill
side.
up the other side. But with a commercial fuel station, they have pumps from both sides, and they're high capacity pumps. So the time it takes you to fill up 50 gallons at your local gas station, I could do 300 gallons.
And there are fuel savings programs that
Yeah.
you can get into. We have like a fleet card
A fleet card, yeah.
that we save like 50 cents a gallon. Not everywhere, but like in the commercial truck stops.
And they have apps that you can look online and you see which truck center has the best pricing.
Yeah.
And so
We found that on the average so far, it has saved us about 50 cents again.
About 50 cents a gallon.
That's big.
Oh yeah, that's when you're pumping in 300 gallons. That's some coin.
Number 5 is horsepower.
Yep, horsepower. With the, I'm not sure what the dualies have in horsepower or that, but I know the big rigs like ours, it can go up to 600 horse. So I mean, pulling anything is not a problem, especially with the weight we pull. I want to make sure that I have the horsepower to do it, and I'm not taxing the engine to death to do it.
Well, with more power, you have more jake brake.
Oh yeah,
And
with the
when you're-
bigger engines, you have better jake braking.
You got the weight stoppage.
Yeah, and it also has engine braking, where there's two different animals, engine braking versus jake brake, but both are a lot better off with the bigger engines and all that. And they're made, again, to stop heavy loads.
Well, and you always hear, well, yeah, my truck can pull my fifth wheel all day long, no problem. And I can get up hills and mountains and stuff. Yeah, but can you stop? That's the question.
Right.
That's where the safety comes in. Can you stop? And we have had it where we were going through Atlanta and we were going at a decent speed,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, because we're up high, we see all this dust and stuff. And it was packed. The highway was packed. We see all this dust and stuff like explode in front of us, and Dave cranks down on the jake brake, and we stopped on a dime. We were more concerned about somebody hitting us in the rear end than we were hitting the car in front of us.
Right.
And if we had a regular truck, pickup truck pulling that, I don't know. I don't think we could have stopped that.
I don't think we'd be here today.
Well, we might be, but we wouldn't have any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The number 6 is roadside truck service.
Right. With these big rigs like that, the system is set up for truckers. They break down on the side of the road. You can actually have a mechanic come out to you. I mean, if you can describe the problem like a blue radiator hose, they'll drive out to you with the correct radiator hose, put it on, and fill you back up with antifreeze and all that, and you're back on the road. With a regular
Truck.
dually, you're not going to kind of get that service. But it's expensive, but you got to verse cost, time, and everything. So
And we have used it where we had a valve stem break on the inside tire, of course, on our truck. And Loves came out and fixed it. He had it fixed like in 40 minutes.
40 minutes. I mean, yeah. With you got it with tires like that. You have to have a service like that come out and do. You don't want to deal with those mammoth tires. At least I don't.
So now let's talk about the cons. So first is the cost to convert to an RV hauler.
Right. That price can go anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 depending upon what you want. I mean, if you just want to remove the commercial hitch and put a fifth wheel hitch in, the cost is going to be about $4 or $5, about $4,000 or $5,000, including the price of the hitch. So that's not bad.
Well,
but if you want to go with the full
yeah,
bed,
if you just go plain Jane,
yeah,
you know.
but if you want to go with the full bed,
Eye popping fancy.
eye candy fancy, with the drown boxes and storage and all that stuff.
You can get freezers in them.
Oh yeah,
You know,
freezers,
complete
generators,
toolkit,
yeah,
shelving units. And
oh yeah, tool boxes that roll in and out. Everything.
Generators.
You name it, they'll put it on it for you. But everything good in life comes with a price tag.
Ours was done by RVH Lifestyles out of Parsons, Kansas, near Dennis, Kansas.
Very happy with those folks. Very, very happy.
Number 2, you just can't go to the local dealership down around the corner. You have to go to appropriate place to have maintenance and to get parts. You just can't go to the normal auto parts store if you want to do it yourself.
Right. You have to go to, a diesel truck garage. And those guys aren't cheap by any means. So that's just the way it goes. But normally, if you go around and you maintain your rig, I mean, you learn the ins and outs of it, you're all right.
I think that was one of the things that I didn't take in consideration when we first decided to get a heavy-duty truck was you have to kind of plan your trip. And for the RV, as far as that goes, plan on where you can get it repaired, since it's not right around the corner. But you could expect to leave your truck, or in this case, those kind of went beyond that to the RV, for over a night to many days, depending on what the situation is and what your repair needs. But you got to plan and kind of schedule your repairs. Number 3, it's expensive to maintain. Hourly rate.
Hourly rates, yes, at the repair garage. They go from anywhere from $130 to $165 an hour. So, all I can say, if you buy an HDT, learn how to work on it. They're not that difficult.
And I was reading online that the average cost for just a general minor repair is about $800.
Yeah, that would be.
If you have warranty.
That'd be fair.
If you have a warranty about your engine, right?
Right.
Then you can get it covered.
Yeah, if you can buy warranties for these things too. So.
And parts are expensive.
Very.
It's not like in a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Parts are expensive.
Yeah, you just don't go to the O'Reilly's Auto Parts or what have you. You have to get them from the manufacturers. So,
oil changes are expensive.
Oil changes will get up about $300 or better.
Why is that?
Got lots of oil. Lots of oil. Ours holds 44 quarts of oil, plus 3 filters, and so all that adds up. Yeah. You can change the oil yourself, but then you got to ask yourself, what am I going to do with 44 quarts of oil?
But it's kind of a pro. You only have to change it once a year.
Yeah, you don't have to change it very often. Once a year. I mean, you figure you're not going to put that many miles on.
Can you do that yourself?
Oh, you could do it yourself. You just have to get a couple buckets.
Yeah.
A couple 5-gallon buckets.
Another expensive thing are the tires, and they can range what?
Anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a piece, depending upon what kind of tire you want to get.
But a pro is they can last about 300,000 miles, I think, before you have to change them.
Well, yeah, right around. If you're good with them and you keep them covered when you're parked, treat them right, they'll last you a long time.
Well, especially if you're in the heat and the sun.
Yeah. Keep the air pressure up in them and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you have a regular pickup truck, you're probably going to have to change your tires kind of often.
Yeah. Well, you figure these are bigger tires. They roll less.
Yeah.
than those little tires. They go round and round less. So.
Con number 4 is fuel mileage.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah. What do we get, Dave?
We get 6
to 7.
6 to 7, depending upon if the wind's at our back. And
what's a dually get though? A regular pickup or a regular
dually,
truck?
they get around 10, I think. Most people I talk to, they say they get 10, 11.
Yeah. Well, and motorhomes are usually about 6 or 7.
6 or 7 with the big motorhomes, yeah. So, I mean, there's a trade-off there.
But we do have 300 gallons, so we can go a lot further.
We can go a lot further. Yeah,
Oh, that was another about fuel mileage is, and I think you kind of mentioned, you can't fit into all the gas stations.
right. When we're rolling down the road, we're all hooked up and everything, so it's just easier for us to go through a truck stop.
Yeah. Number 5 con. You have to watch your speed.
Yeah, you have to watch the speed. When you're sitting up there high, everything seems to be running slower than what you're really doing. I mean, you think you're doing 60 miles an hour, and you look down, you're doing 75. It's deceiving up in there. So you just have to watch your speed, just for the sheer fact that you're bigger, heavier. So you want to make sure that you get used to it after a while. I have a speed controller for mine. She's sitting next to me.
All the time.
All the time. Slow down. Slow
Because
down.
most heavy duty trucks have like a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Where they run at the lower RPMs, they're at a
Right.
good gear. When you
Yeah.
go up to 12, right?
Yeah, I'm in 12th gear rolling down the road. My sweet spot's about 67 miles, 68 miles an hour.
So I'm always saying something to them
Yep.
about it.
Sweet spot. Just keep saying sweet spot.
Yeah. Con number 6 is the regeneration cycle.
Yes. On ours, we don't have the DEF fluid. We
The
have
diesel exhaust fluid, DEF. Yeah.
diesel exhaust fluid. We don't use that. We have a particulate filter in ours, and after so many miles, about 2,500 miles, it has to go through a cycle, what it's called regen. And what that does is it heats up the exhaust where it burns all the carbon off of the particulate filters. And the only setback for it is it always seems to come on just as we're about ready to park it. And
You have to keep it running.
You got to keep it running until it goes through that cycle, which takes about 20 minutes.
And we had the exhaust, we had it converted so it's
Yeah.
underneath the truck.
We
So
went
you-
from a stack exhaust because it blows all that carbon and all that all over your rig. You don't want that, so we have what they call a weed burner.
Which is also a little quieter too.
Yeah, it exhausts out from underneath the truck.
And it truly is a weed burner.
And when you go through the regen cycle, you don't want to be parked over weeds or grass.
Or grass.
Or anything flammable.
Because that has happened to us.
Yeah, it happened to us.
We
We had a
drove-
little fire underneath the truck.
We had driven about 4 hours, 5 hours, maybe even. It was a
Yeah.
long time. We were so glad finally to get where we were supposed to be. And we're standing over grass, and all of a sudden you go, the regen just came on. I can't shut down. And we got bottles of water out there because the grass was catching on
Grass
fire.
is on fire, and we're
Oh.
throwing water underneath it.
It's pretty funny.
We made it through it, though.
But the good thing is we don't have to spend the money on the DEF
DEF fluid. Right.
for it. So this is just part 1. We have a part 2 on the pros and cons as well. So I hope you'll watch that next. And maybe you've learned a little something and
Maybe,
help you make some decisions.
Yeah, help make a decision on it.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below, even if it's just to say hi. Don't forget to subscribe.